I am being joined by Britt Tucker with Brighter with Britt. She is a life coach. She is a corporate trainer. She is a motivational speaker. And if you've seen just any of my posts, I always, like, especially on Mondays, try to do that Motivational Monday post. I'm a big believer in giving yourself the right tools to really kind of help you navigate through this time, whether it be your mindset, motivating, whatever. So I'm super excited to talk to Britt today. So Britt, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Yay, I'm excited to be here.
So you cover all the things. You're a life coach, a corporate trainer, a motivational speaker. So kind of, I guess to kind of get us kicked off here, if you wouldn't mind just kind of walking us through what all of those titles really look like and how this came to be.
Yeah. So when people ask me what I do for a living, I always say I communicate, and that's the easiest way to explain it. So yeah, across the board. I mean, I'm doing corporate training with large corporations. A lot of my clients are in Atlanta. I do conferences. I speak at startups. I do a little bit of everything. We can talk about the life coaching here in a second, which I think the part you want to focus on today. But yeah, I've been doing it for about 10 years. I started as like a traveling consultant on the plane every week, just going in and speaking in front of large groups of people. And then it just kind of grew from there. So, but I think what's cool, Caitlin, is that like everybody has a gift. And it took me like 32 years to find mine. And I truly believe mine is speaking. And so yeah, so if anybody's out there listening, you've not found your gift yet, just keep searching for it. You will know when you find it. But yeah, mine's speaking. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, I totally connect with that in terms of, I've kind of had a little bit of a colorful career path. I started in TV news. I made my way to PR. And then when I found real estate, and especially my real estate coach, she kind of brought all my worlds together into this. And when you know that you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's like, there's just this piece that comes with it. And it's really awesome.
For sure.
Okay, so tell me, we are all going through this COVID period of time. We're probably all processing a little bit differently. So what are kind of some tools or directions that you could give people to just kind of help them navigate? Because I know a lot of times it can be like, it's hard to get out of bed today.
Yes. That's a good question. I think the first thing for us all to understand is that people are going to all deal with this differently, and that's okay. There is no right or wrong answer on what we should be doing. So you're going to have some people who are experiencing like random burst of energy. So I'm one of them, right? Like I will just wake up one day and have so much energy and I'm like, I'm going to tackle something that's been on my to-do list forever, or I'm going to start a new project. Then you have some people who literally will sleep all day. Right. Which I've been there too, right? There are days I'm productive one day and then I sleep the entire next day. So there's really no right or wrong way to handle it right now. I think listening to your body, listening to your intuition about what you should be doing, is the biggest advice I would give people. I'm trying to stick to a routine. I am a routine person. I strongly believe in morning routines and how it's made a positive impact in my life. But I've also allowed myself grace over the last few weeks. You know, maybe one morning I don't journal, or maybe one morning, you know, I don't work out at the time that I normally do. And that's okay. It's okay to have feelings all over the place. It's okay to be doing random things right now. I think the biggest thing is just learning to step into it, right? And acknowledge that it's there, and that everybody's going through it right now. So.
Right. And I love how you said, give yourself grace, because I know, for me personally, it feels like every day I'm supposed to be up, going, running. And I mean, I'm very internally motivated, but at the same time, you almost kind of feel like you get hit by a truck with this thing. And so allowing yourself that grace, like you said, if you need a day to just kind of feel the feels and get through it, and then, you know, move on the next day. But you mentioned a morning routine. So
Yes.
What are kind of some things that people could think about if they don't even have a morning routine? What are some things that you have found to be really helpful for you?
So I'm a big believer in journaling. I teach this to all my clients. I think journaling really helps you get your thoughts out onto paper, just to see what you're feeling, to see what needs to be tackled for the day. So if you don't have a morning routine, I would start with journaling. I would also start with gratitude. So that is something that I do every single day, probably for the last 5 years. I list out 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I'm telling you right now, this will completely change your life on how you live life. So gratitude, 3 things. Those would be the 2 biggest things I would say if you don't have a morning routine, to start with gratitude and to start with journaling. And the journaling is really, really going to help right now with everything that's going on. So.
And when you say journaling, is it just taking the thoughts that come out and just writing them down, or your worries, or whatever it may be?
Yes. So I set a timer on my phone, and I do it exactly for 10 minutes. So I just write until that timer goes off. And it could be anything from today I feel happy, or today I'm very grateful that I had Chick-fil-A for lunch, or, you know, I'm really starting to feel anxiety around this area of my life. And it really just helps get things out onto paper. It's almost like, I call it like a brain dump. Like we're getting it out so we can start our day and things aren't, you know, heavy on top of us. So yeah, that would be the tip I would give. But it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It could be a spiral notebook. It could be a sheet of paper. It could be a note card. But journaling and gratitude are my top 2.
I love that. Now, again, I know when it comes to, well, first tell people a little bit more about like what life coaching actually looks like. We'll start there.
Yeah. So I always like to start when people ask me, what the heck is life coaching, Brittany? What does that even mean? I'll be honest, like years ago, when the first person I ever encountered at this like party, they looked at me and they said, you should be a life coach. It was probably like 2013. And I was like, that word is so taboo. Like, what is that? You know?
Right.
So I got my certification in 2016, but really the easiest way for me to explain it is, number 1, I'm not a counselor and I'm not a therapist. But what I am is someone who's an accountability partner. I'm someone who's a cheerleader, and I'm someone who knows how to help you put processes in place to get to a certain goal. So think of it as me guiding you along the way. And the cool part is, Caitlin, is that you have all the answers inside of you. I'm just trained to get them out. So that's the easy explain life coaching.
So if somebody's struggling right now, because I know I've done a little bit of research into different Enneagram types and personality types. So I know that it's not a one size fits all for everybody, right? So if someone's struggling and they're looking for a way to kind of maybe pull themselves out of what's going on, like I know that we talked about journaling and gratitude, but like, you know, what about goal setting? Is that something that can help pull you out? And if so, how do you kind of go about navigating goal setting in this time?
Yeah. With the goal setting, it's going to be good for some people right now. Some people are going to use this time where the world has literally stopped for all of us to say, hey, you know, now's the time, these top 2 goals that have been sitting on my list forever, for me to tackle that. And I've done some of that too. But I've also stepped back and said, you know, I have to be realistic with my goals right now too, because a lot of my goals involve other people and being around other people. So I think kind of being realistic with yourself, if you are going to do some goal setting right now. If you're not going to do goal setting, it's okay. You don't have to do that during this time. I would say something, if you're kind of in a funk and something that's helpful and you're kind of reevaluating your life, I think writing down, once all this is over, what you want your life to look like, right? Because this is a cool opportunity to say, when we're in this period of no movement and silence, to reevaluate and say, what are things that I love about my life right now that I want to continue, and what are things that I want to change? And that's so simple to do. It's going to require you to dig a little deep, which I think we all are kind of very, what's the word right now? Vulnerable right now. So you might get a lot of really good stuff on paper. But I think that would be helpful for people who are kind of like reevaluating their life.
And I think that, I mean, I love what you're saying, because I think I've seen a lot of different memes or things posted on social that said, like, we shouldn't be rushing back to what was normal, because there was a lot of dysfunction in what that normal looked like. So in terms of somebody, because I know like right now it could be like you said, a great time to kind of reevaluate where you are and what you do want out of life. I know that I've done that just a little bit in terms of, because you can get so caught up in your day-to-day routines or day-to-day actions that that big picture can start to fade if you don't keep a close eye on it. And so just in terms of really looking at what you want your life to look like outside of this, like when we come out the other side. And so we do have a question that came in.
Okay, good.
It said, I have noticed that there are folks that live by themselves and they're feeling very isolated. So do you have any advice at what they can do to help themselves during this time?
Yes, I do. I've lived by myself for probably the last 7, 8, 10 years. Obviously I've been spending time with family right now, but I would say make sure you're getting outside. Okay. I mean, obviously we can't go socialize with people, but taking walks is a big thing. Journaling, set aside time, something for you. Like think about what brings you joy, what makes you happy. You know, and I think this is a cool time to tap into those things, right? Like I bought a $1 box of, actually my mom bought it, a $1 box of chalk. And I literally just colored on the sidewalk. And I can't tell you the last time I've done something like that. But that moment of creativity that I hadn't stepped into in a while released so many emotions for me. So I would say outside, making sure you're eating healthy, like as much as you possibly can, because how you're treating your body is gonna really affect your mind during this time. So walks are big for me right now. I would say getting outside, creativity, what's something you want to do, what's something that makes you happy right now.
I really love that. I really love that. And then, I mean, if people have this time in this space where they're able to start to reevaluate what they want things to look like post-pandemic, maybe they don't even know where to start to kind of evaluate what maybe things they should keep and what maybe things that they can change. Do you have any guidance on where maybe they can start to figure out how to maybe make even subtle changes in their life?
Yeah. I would say a big thing is to really be paying attention to what's going on within you daily.
Okay.
Because we're so exposed right now, we're so raw, we're so vulnerable, we're literally going through this entire world. You're going to catch yourself throughout the day where you find like little things might annoy you, or you're like, why did I ever even do it that way? Right? Like, like all this questioning, our mind is doing a lot of different things right now. So paying attention to those things. But I'll go back to the list where like, you know, what do you want your life to look like? So, I mean, sit down tonight and write down like, what do I love about my life? Like, what do I want to continue? What areas do I want to grow in? Or, hey, like this has given me time to think about like, what areas do I not like about my life? And what do I want to change? So I would definitely say that tool again is a useful one.
I love that. Now, just kind of, you know, just kind of looking again at just what are some takeaways for people? Because I know that you said if you're trying to figure things out, like the answers are already in you.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is there something that can prompt them to start to bring them out? Because I'm not trying to give all of your tools away. I'm not trying to do that at all. But is there maybe something that can prompt them to start maybe going down a rabbit hole of some sort?
Yeah, journaling. I mean, because most people don't journal. I mean, when you start to journal, it's like everything is just out on paper. I would say a big thing during this time too is to be very conscious of what you're feeding your mind. So what I mean by that is the news is a big one. I personally don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news in over like 10 years. But if you choose to do that, just limit your time to it. And really focus on what it is you can control right now, right? Because I physically, I'm not a nurse. I'm not a healthcare worker. I can't go do my part in that way.
Right.
Hospital, but what I can do is do my part in, you know, social distancing and making sure I'm being healthy and clean and pouring out onto others into this time. So, so those are some tips I would give. I do have a daily check-in sheet, Caitlin, that I created for myself and my clients. Yeah. And I'm more than happy. I'll send that to you and you can post it. That. And it's basically just, it's a daily check-in. So I'll go through it with you. The first thing is what are 3 things that you're grateful for today? The second one is how am I taking care of myself today? Right? So is that I'm going on a walk, or I'm journaling, or I'm eating healthy food. The third thing is how am I loving on others today? Okay.
Ooh, that's
so
good.
Yeah. So is it, who am I reaching out to today? Whether that's a phone call, or who am I writing a note to? I've been writing a ton of handwritten notes lately.
And people love to get
Yes.
snail mail.
Yes. Snail mail is like the best, right?
Yeah.
So those sorts of things, like how am I loving on other people? And regardless of how much you feel like you have to give right now, like a simple act can actually do so much for you too, because we're missing that feeling of feeling wanted right now, and being around people, like our human need to be connected. So that's helped me a lot. And then so we went through gratitude, how am I loving on me, how am I loving on others. The fourth one is there an opportunity for growth today? So what I mean by that, is there a relationship that can be grown or healed, or is there a new skill I can learn that I've always wanted to take up, or, you know, any type of growth in your life is a big one. And then the last question I have on my daily check-in is, am I allowing grace? Am I giving myself grace today? And am I allowing myself time to be still today? And those are the 5 things that have literally helped me so much since all this craziness started.
Well, I mean, I love that check sheet, the checklist. I think, you know, I mean, I've run into people that think that, you know, all of this, you know, personal development and taking care of yourself can seem really selfish. But I love how, and I don't believe that. That's things I've heard, but I'm also a big believer that if you don't take care of yourself well, how can you take care of others well? But I love in your checklist that you include, what am I doing to love on others today? Because I do think when you love on others, when you pour out and serve others, it only helps fill you back up too.
Oh yeah, I would say too, Caitlin. One thing that I've really, really tried to focus on is just love and kindness during this time. Like, how can I be kind? How can I be loving? And how can I just extend grace, not only to myself, but to other people, right? One thing I've had to tell myself, I've reached out to some people and gotten actually like no response. And I had to tell myself, like, it's okay. Like, everybody's handling this differently, right? But if I have love, if I have extra love to give right now, like, someone's going to benefit from that, right? So just keep giving it, keep pouring it out, keep spreading kindness, and keep giving people grace. And that's a huge one.
No, I think that's just like the perfect, like, tie a bow on it moment, because I think we don't know what people are going through. The way that we process something could be completely different from the way other people process, and the way that this is affecting them, whether it's physically, financially, whatever it may be, can be completely different from our situation. So I think extending love and grace and kindness to others is a huge part of getting through this thing together.
Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for joining me today. Go tell everyone where they can go to find you.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram. It's Brighter with Britt. And I'll share this with you because people always ask me, like, where did that name come from?
Yes.
I truly believe, like, everybody has a light, like, within them, right? Like, everybody has talents to serve other people. And so I want to just teach people to be the best version of themselves and to go shine their light. So Brighter with Britt on Facebook and Instagram.
Perfect. Awesome, Brittany. Thank you so much for joining me today. So just a heads up for everybody, I'm doing something really fun tomorrow. I'm starting a series called Wine with Sharks with my sister. She is a shark trainer. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be tomorrow evening. But again, Brittany, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll make sure that I share the checklist with everyone.
Sounds good.
Thank you.